welcome to another installment of how to split a lithium polymer battery. Um, okay, so in a previous video, I took a 6S and split it into two 3S's. So, okay, so the first thing we want to do is find our polarity, because we don't know, because I took all the connectors off. I mean, you could have took a note of it, but I forgot because I didn't write it down. So take your voltmeter or any kind of meter that will test voltage. Shit. Stand again. Got our voltmeter there. And stand somewhat cooperating. Alright. So we want to check our polarity because we need to know, we don't know where the cells are, or what polarity the cells are. So, easy way to do that is take your voltmeter, take your leads, and put them. You'll see that, you know, these tabs are together. This tab is together, and then that leaves us the two tabs. So one of these is positive and one of these is negative. So I'm gonna guess that this one is the positive one. So we'll see. So put your voltmeter on there, and if it reads positively, you know, if you have it hooked up right and it reads that your voltage is positive voltage, 11.47 there, then you know, let's see, I was wrong. This is negative and this is positive, and you can just take like a Sharpie or whatever you have and then write negative and positive, and there you go. So you now know that your pack is now, this is the negative and this is positive. So when you solder your balance connector and your main connector on, you know the polarity and you won't have to be cussing about it. So yeah, we just double check there. This side is positive, as we marked, and this side is negative. If it was the other way around and you know you weren't sure yet, if it comes up negative on your voltmeter here, see it's coming up negative 11.47, then you know that it's wrong, and you gotta flip your leads and then check it, and then there, it's positive. And yeah, there you go. I mean, another way, if you don't have a voltmeter, you could use a light bulb and stick a light bulb. Actually, that's not a good example because some light bulbs go both ways. I guess you could just stick something that is the same voltage, that you know one side is positive, one side is negative, and plug it on there. Well, assuming that, let's just forget I said any of that. But anyway, a voltmeter might be the best way to check. I would use a voltmeter. So we now know our polarity, so we can now start soldering up our connectors that I'm looking for right now. There we go. So we have a 3S connector. It has 4 pins. Yeah, they're for 3 cells. One side is positive, and the rest, the other side, the side opposite the positive side, is negative. So when you're looking at yours, when you're looking at it, it should have 2 tabs on the top where it clicks into the connector, so you know which direction, orientation. So if you're looking at your balance connector from the tabs there, so you're looking at it there, on your left side would be positive, on the right side is negative, the far right. So I marked it with red here. That is my positive lead here. I'll take this off because that kind of makes it confusing. This is your positive, and a lot of times they're marked. This is marked white. I think it's from a DJI product, but DJI product. But yeah, this is your positive, and for all intents and purposes, all of these are your negative now. There's a way to check each one, and you just jump the pins. You go first one, second one, third one. But in any case, we're gonna solder ours up from the positive side. I'm pretty sure, watch me do this whole video and it'd be wrong. You do from the positive side, positive on positive, then you go to your next cell closest to the positive side. The next tab is your next cell. So positive here, then the second one is going to be the first tab. The second tab where the next two batteries go, that's going to be your third pin. Then the final, all the way at the end, the negative, that's going to be on your negative pin or lead tab. So I don't know if that makes sense. You start from the positive side. This is your positive here. Solder your positive to the first tab. Then the first wire on your balance connector, the first wire after the positive. So positive, second wire. The second wire on the balance connector is your first cell tab. And we're going to call them, well, no, that's not right. It's your first battery tab, because cells, two cells makes a battery. So okay, you're going to solder, looking at your tab, got your positive side here, positive, then pin number 2 onto where the two cells meet, pin number 3 on where the 3 cells meet, and then your final one is going to be on the negative battery tab here. And yeah, alright, so we're gonna grease up our wires here. I guess this is long enough, I don't know. We're gonna put a little flux on your wires. I swear flux is what makes solder work. If you do not have flux, then you're not gonna have a quality solder joint. I put a little bit of flux on here on the wires. These are actually pre-tinned because they came off of something else, but most of your wires are, you're just going to cut them and they're going to be bare wires, so you're going to need to use flux on your wires. Okay, and then I got a little grease, little solder on my soldering tip, and we're going to start soldering up these connectors. First one on, and then the second one where the two batteries meet on, the third one where the 3 batteries meet, and it helps to solder these all in the same direction. It never goes the direction you want it to, but it helps. And then there's our final negative that we're going to solder on the negative lead here. And that flux just makes it so nice. It's just like butter. And there it is. So you got your balance connectors. And a way to check this, and I'm curious myself, so I might have to make a whole nother video here. Let's see. I'm gonna get my cell checker. I'll be right back. So here is the moment of truth. Should we wire it up right? Oh, 11.4. First battery, 3.82. Second battery, 3.82. Third battery, 3.82. Looks like we did it right. So yeah, you want to start from your positive side. First, find your polarity of your connector. They got plenty of images online of the connector, or it helps just to mark it with a red or a black marker, and then you know what your pins are. There, I got my positive there for my first positive lead. Second, where the two cells meet, I got my second pin. Third pin, where the three cells meet here. Fourth pin, that's the negative side. It's going to be on your negative side of your battery there. Okay, so now we need to put the main connector on. I probably have none right now, so let me solder up a Dean's connector real quick, and I can even do that on camera so you can see. And for people that don't feel like watching this and just want to get to the end, fast forward through this. I'll leave a timestamp or something. Okay, so here we go. We got our Dean's connector, because I like Dean's connectors. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use an XT60 because my quad is XT60, and that's what's going on. So I got some XT60 connectors here, and they're great. They really are. I don't know what I have against them. I was in an era before XT60 connectors, or it was like right when they came out, and I did ultra plug for whatever reason. I like them though. They're good. Ultra plug. Okay, I'm gonna put my vise here, make it easy. Show you how to wire up a XT60 connector. So you got your XT60 connector. One side is negative, one side is positive. Sometimes they are marked, sometimes they are not. The square side is positive. The side with the angled side is negative. So, okay. Knowing that, put in our little vise here to make life easier. I put a little flux on the pins. Put a little flux on the pins there to make the solder glide nice and good. I'm going to reuse this nice silicone cable from this XT90 connector. So what we're going to do is, a little weird, don't they? Alright. And that was me just cutting the wires. So I take my wire stripper and I strip, you know, whatever this is here. Do that on both of them. Got them stripped. Okay, I twist the wires, get them all together, take some flux, impregnate the wires with flux, and that means get your fingers in there. Wear gloves because flux can be irritating to some people. And get that flux in those wires so they will transfer that solder around in there. Got my soldering iron. And always put your heat shrinks. Don't forget your heat shrinks, because you will be cussing. So I'm gonna solder my heat shrinks on there, and I think this side is positive. Okay, that's connected. And this side is negative. And you want to sit it there till the metal starts absorbing the solder, because you can do something which is called a cold solder joint, and the it'll look like it's stuck there, but it's really just stuck to the surface. You want it to kind of see it went all the way around that brass, and it's locked into that brass, and you'll see it when you heat it up hot enough. You hold it there for a few seconds, and some people call it quicksilver, I think, but it's basically just gets that metal going. It gets the metal hot enough to start transferring that solder on the metal, and it just really absorbs it, and that's the kind of bite you want on there, because that thing's not coming off anytime soon. So we slide our heat shrinks up there. I use a lighter. You can use a heat gun, or like one of these small heat gun jobs. This is like an embossing gun or something. Works really good. So I'm just going to use a lighter for quickness. And there you go, your heat shrinked. And then I still have the XT90 on there. I'm going to cut that because I don't need that, and I'll maybe use it for something else. I don't know. And then there we go. We got our main wire. I like how I just threw that on the bench there with no protection. Could have caused a fire. Alright, so I'm stripping my main cable here. I'm gonna get that solder in there good. I mean, get that flux in there good. Okay. And then I'm gonna put it on side to make life easier. And I know my negative pin. Gonna solder it to my negative pin here. There we go. Nice bead. And we're gonna solder. Yeah, that'll be alright. Alright. Our positive side. I'm trying to make my wire look a little better here without having to trim it. I think that'll be okay. Yeah. Alright. I like having the same length wires. I don't know if it actually does anything, but I feel like it's like a better way to do it, is if both the main wires are the same length, but I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, soldering the positive side on sometime today. It helps to have something to hold it there. Hopefully I won't burn these other wires. Okay, nice bead. And there you have it, folks. You have another cell. Basically, it's got the balance connector on there. We tested that. It worked good. And I just kind of finagle my wires here. That might work. So, okay. We are going to take... I have the bottom from the one before, the sticky bottom. I'm going to take some scissors and cut it in half, because it's now half the size it was. And we're going to stick that on the bottom just to have some kind of protection there. I'm going to take one of my metal plates. There's our metal plate. Take a metal plate. You know what, I'll make this the durable battery. We'll put the metal plates from our 6S battery on this battery. I might actually wrap it once first. And sometimes it helps to put a little glue. Hot or silicone is probably the best. This is, I forget what the hell this is, MS glue, which will work good. It's like a silicone kind of glue. Silicone carne.